All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope y'all had a great holiday weekend. And today we're going to talk about Facebook ads. So I want to demystify them for you. We're going to walk through a framework on how to get them set up. I'm going to point you in the right direction in the Skool group. And by the time this session is done, if you invest about a half an hour, you'll have ads up and running. You can launch them and you can generate leads within the next 90 minutes. It happens every day, all day long in our community. Now, obviously, once you generate the leads, the purpose of the ad is to get somebody to opt in. So now you have a lead. Now you need to convert that lead into an appointment. So we'll talk about that elsewhere. And of course, there's some great resources inside of the Skool community that go over all of that. Okay, so let's get the party started. What I'd like to do is share my screen. And we've recently updated our ad framework. So you guys are getting some good stuff hot off the press. And it's quite exciting. So let me just adjust a couple things here. And then we will rock and roll. All right, so I'm going to bounce into Skool here. And pardon me, I'm going to share the screen. Okay. All right, so y'all should see my screen, right? Could somebody... Oh, do we have a chat? Do we have anything? What the heck? What's going on with Zoom? You'd think in the age of AI, it would be easy to... Look, we can't even chat. You gotta be kidding me. That's insane. I love it. Okay, so do this for me. If you can see me okay, I just need y'all to do this one time. Click on the Q&A and just open a Q&A. Just like say yes or something for me, please, so I can see. Awesome. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. All right, Brad beat y'all to the punch. Thank you, David. I appreciate you guys. Okay. You know what? I need to back up here and share something that's going on in the marketplace that's causing a little bit of confusion. So right now, as of September 1, Texas released a new law that said, in essence, you have to register with their Secretary of State or Commerce Department or whatever it is. Otherwise, you could be fined for sending text messages. It's kind of a big deal, but what's important to understand is the intent. So it's a new law, and if you violate it, you could get some massive fines. What it's designed for is it's for people that are marketing something. So think of an offer, buy this thing, get 20% off, those type of marketing text messages. However, if you're simply replying to give somebody information that they requested, which is what we do, then you're fully compliant. I mean, talk to a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but it's my understanding, and that's the way we're treating it. It gets a little murky if you kind of are combining the two, but most of our text stuff is ad, they request information, we talk to them about it, and then we book a call. Okay? So just little FYI on that if you're seeing anything on what's going on there. Okay, so now the other thing here is if you have questions, type them in the Q&A. So there's a little box at the bottom here that's a little question mark. Click on it. You can type in your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. Appreciate you all joining me on a Thursday afternoon. It's always fun when we're doing these with a bunch of folks like we are today versus when I'm just hanging here solo. I like, quote unquote, getting out of the office once in a while. Okay, enough of that, Paul. Let's talk ads. I am with you. All right, so in here, in the Skool community, the free community, click on Classroom, click over here to Step 3, scroll down here to over-the-shoulder system setup, and you'll see the architecture of the ads. I'll show that to you real quick, but I just want you to understand where you can get the resource for after the call. Okay, now, ads 101. Anybody know what the purpose of an ad is? I'd like you to, let's workshop this. If you can lean in and participate, you'll extract a lot more than, if you're just binging this. So when I ask a question, Like take a minute and think about it, or better yet, grab a pen and jot the answer down. You're here to learn. Like if you're not here to learn to implement, like go do something else. Our time should always be spent on things that will make us money. Learning how to run ads is probably one of the most important tools in your arsenal to make money. When I learned this directly what I'm going to talk to you about today is what allowed me to become a multimillionaire. You cannot, in my opinion, become a multimillionaire relying on free organic strategies because you don't have control. You don't have headship, right? When you're relying on free organic stuff, literally the only thing you have is you're the tail. That's a tail, right? And so you get wagged. When you're the head, you do the wagging. And that's what you need to be able to do to scale any business and have long-term success for you and your family. So, what is the purpose? Well, what is the machine? So, let's talk about this to back up a little bit. Okay, so what we have here is we have an ad, right? And we take all these people that are out and about, we bring them into the ad. From the ad, we bring them into an appointment and a process. We talk about our process inside of the system. And then from there, we create a client. Okay? This is the money, baby. Now, how the mechanics work is there's a certain cost per lead that you'll pay to get somebody to opt into one of your ads. You get their name, you get their phone number, you get their email, you get some information. We're seeing that about between $10 to $20 right now. Then you have a cost per appointment. We're seeing that as low as $50. So 5 leads to get an appointment. Let's just say it's worst case, you're just getting started and it takes you 10 leads to get one appointment. That's $100 per appointment. Pardon me. And let's say you book 5 appointments, 4 of them show up, 1 of them buy. Let's say you're horrible at sales, 25%, you're, riding the short bus, you're half asleep. They gave you decaffeinated instead of caffeinated and you just stink at the beginning, which you can do a 25% conversion rate with our process with your eyes closed. That would be 5 appointments for 1 sale. So your cost per client at this point is $500. Okay. Now, what do you charge? We recommend not a penny less than 3K, and we really would like to see you at a $5,000 setup. So let's say that you're $3,000 day one, and then we really don't like people charging less than $1,000. We prefer them to be at about $2,500 minimum. But let's say that it's your first deal. You're kind of, your knees are clanking a little bit. You're, learning how to have some backbone and spine, which is fine. We all have to learn how to do that. And let's say you're just charging $500 a month. Okay. $500 a month, 3K one-time setup fee, and you're delivering massive, massive value to the business. You're helping them recover lost profit literally day one without them having to do anything. They're doing backflips. They're excited. They're naming their kids after you. You call, they answer the phone. They're rapidly looking to say yes to any other offering that you have. So if we subtract 3K from 500, that leaves you with a $2,500 profit day one, right? $2,500 day one. There is no other investment on planet Earth where you can invest 500 and get out 2,500 almost immediately. And this is just the start because you didn't consider $500 a month times 12 is 6K. So we add 6K there. And you're not considering any of the add-ons and additional upsells that you can charge both a setup fee for and additional monthly recurring. So let's say you add another package that's now 5K setup and 2K a month. That's 24K, 2 times 12 plus 5, 27. Added on to this money, now your return is just astronomical. So that's why, in my opinion, this is one of the most important skill sets you can learn to build wealth. Now, here's the cool part is right now, many of you are going to start here and you're going to do the appointment, and you're going to do the conversion part of the process, right? So you're going to be doing these appointments. Well, what we teach people how to do is at the right time, we teach people how to hire a full-time commissioned-only sales professional that can work 40, 50 hours a week for you, helping you build recurring income. That's the massive lever. Now, the other reason why you want to learn paid ads is because until you have the ability to predictably and consistently get qualified appointments on your calendar, you will never hire or be able to or be eligible to, nor should you hire A player talent. You just can't do it. And if you do, they'll stay and they'll bounce because you don't have consistency of scheduling opportunities for them, right? They make money when they have an appointment. So that's why we do it like this, and that's why we do it in this sequence, and that's why this is one of the most, if not the most important skill sets that I think you should learn. Okay? Again, it was instrumental in me getting where I am today. And here's the cool part. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to have any type of sophisticated knowledge or skill set. You literally have to learn a couple things that we're going to walk you through today. Okay? So let's walk through kind of the thinking process about ads. Let me see if I can move this over. Oh, look at this. This works out pretty cool. Okay. So an ad has a couple of components. You've all seen them, so this is going to be review, but I don't like to assume things, so we're going to go into it. You have an image. Okay? Image. You have a headline, and you have ad copy, or what Facebook calls text. Okay? That's it. Inside of the ad. Okay, you have, good Lord, I can't even read my own handwriting. I apologize. Right? Image, headline, and copy your text. Probably should have put copy your text on the right. They must have given me decaf. I apologize. I'm going to get after those damned baristas. What are they thinking? Messing up our whole call. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. How hard can it be to click the right coffee? All right. Got that? Now, within Facebook, the way Facebook is structured, and I want to map you through this because when you see how simple this is, hopefully you'll be like, this is amazing. Within Facebook, so this is the ad. I got to move it over here. We're running out of room. Actually, let me do it like this. This could be cool if this works out. So within the ad, Zoom is in my way. All right. So an ad is within what's called an ad set. Okay? And you got to think of them as containers. Okay? With all the same assets, all the same structures. Now these live within an ad set. Okay? What the ad set controls is two things basically. Placement and targeting. Where the ad is delivered, in other words, the people looking at the ad, men, women, old, young, business owners, non-business owners, and where it's delivered. Desktop, phone, iOS, Android, and certain types of areas. Newsfeed, Instagram, Facebook, newsreels, all kind of different stuff. Okay? And then within the ad set lives within what's called a campaign. Okay? So there's literally just three things you need to understand, and you're able to rock and roll with Facebook ads like a boss. So here's what this looks like inside of Facebook. Okay? You have, I got all these drafts in here. I'll show it to you like this. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Don't show this again. Okay, so you can see here, this is the campaign, right? You see this? This is the ad sets. These are the ads. Campaign, ad set, ads. So the campaign is where you basically, you don't really have to do much in here. Okay? It kind of automatically occurs. So when you go to click create an ad, and this is what you'll be doing here in a few minutes, you click on leads, you click continue. You always want to do it manually. You want to control it. And now you have a campaign, an ad set, and an ad. This, just make sure these are off and you're done, right? Then you're in the ad set level. And this is where you tell the system where you want the conversion to happen. We use forms. You can also use a website, but forms is pretty simple. Down here is where you put the budget. Here is where you control the audience, where you can select who you want to see the ads. And you can click over here to detailed targeting. Okay. And then the placements. And here's where you can select the placements. All right. And they've defaulted me to Advantage Plus, but if you go to manual, then you can select and you can pick all these different things. Okay. Here's the cool thing. For placements, the algorithm is sophisticated enough you can just go to Advantage Plus. Done. So you don't have anything to do with the placement. You can forget about that. Boop. Done. Over here, now we talk about the audience, and the way we suggest you do it is you have 3 different types of ad sets. Number 1, where you're targeting everybody, which is the default structure out of the gate. Number 2, where you target business owners in the detailed targeting. And then number 3, where you target business owners and then you narrow it to target CEOs, founders, owners. Okay. And what this does is this creates what's called a narrowed audience where they have to be part of both. Right. So we start with everybody. Then we start with a circle of business owners, and then we layer it so it's an and function, right? So it's now more targeted, and that's it. That's what we do. Now, back in the old days, used to be have to be very sophisticated when it comes to targeting. Today, you don't. The algorithm has gotten so sophisticated, it really isn't that big of a deal anymore. Okay, so we just answered this targeting question. That's done. All right. Anybody that tells you anything else, they're trying to sell you something, most likely. It really is that simple. That's what we teach our people. That's what we do, and it just works. Okay? So you can have this on. This is fine. So now you're done here. This is all you need. You're done. Then we get over into the ads. And again, what do we need for the ads? We need an image, we need a headline, and we need copy. So when it comes to ads, you pick your Facebook page. For your Instagram, you use Facebook page. Do turn this one off. You don't want to advertise next to your competitors. You pick a form. And then really the way you set up your ads is right here. And again, I'm going to show you how to create all this, but I just want you to see how simple it is inside of the system, right? So you come in here, you pick an image or you upload it, you click next. Always do original. It's okay that it has this error, but leave it like that. Next, skip all this stuff. Enhancements, you can turn all those on, done. So now you have your image, and now you just scroll down here, and here's your primary text. That's the copy of the ad. Here's your headline, and that's it. Skip a description, sign up. You can use button learn more, and you're done. That's all you have to do. Like seriously, it's that simple. You can have up to 5 primary texts and up to 5 headlines. So that's the structure we recommend. Put 5 different primary texts and 5 different headlines with image A. Then when that's done, come here, duplicate this, swap out the image to image B. So everything else is the same. Come in here, duplicate it again, and swap it out. So now you have the text slash copy headline are the same for all three ads, but you have three different images. Okay. Once this is done, right, now you duplicate the ad set twice and you set up the different targeting, right? The first one is already set up because it's everybody. Then you come in here to the second one and you pick business owners. And then you come in here to the third one and you pick business owners and you narrow it like we showed you, right? So business owners, narrow by whatever. That's it, done. And then just make sure you label it, right? So this would be small, the one with just the business owners, medium, and then the one with everybody, large. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to run all three of these as a test. Over time, the cream will rise to the top. The data will tell us what to do, both quantitatively and qualitatively, meaning we get the right number of leads, cost per lead, and the right quality of leads, quality per lead. When you run lead ads, there are leads that come through with bad numbers and bad emails because the cool thing about the lead form is it automatically pulls in whatever that user registered and signs in to their Facebook account with. So if they signed up 27 years ago, then they're probably old information, which is fine. It doesn't matter. The numbers still make sense. Okay. All these numbers make sense regardless if you have bad leads. Okay. That's the point there. So that's it. And then you run it and the cream rises to the top and you'll see in the data, and the data will tell you what to do. So let's come over here. Let's do, this is just a trial test campaign. So we're going to do, let's do maximum. Okay. Now, you don't need to know anything about Facebook or about anything. If we look at these, I just want you to look at these numbers down here at the bottom. Okay. Look at these numbers. I'm going to sort based on amount spent, and you're going to become a Facebook ad expert right now. Okay, you ready? So here's what we look at. We look at amount spent, or actually we just look at cost per result. Okay, so this one generated 10 leads and it cost us 19 bucks. This one generated 5 leads and it cost us 13 bucks. This one didn't generate any leads and we spent 52 bucks. This one did 1 lead and it cost $105. So between these objects, which ones would you continue to run? Would you continue to run this one for 50 bucks without a lead? Would you run this one 122 bucks for 1 lead? Or would you maybe continue to run this one and continue to run this one? And if it was between this one and this one, which one would you continue to run? The $13 cost per lead. Y'all, that's it. That's all you need to know. That's it. I'm telling you, that's it. The data tells you what to do. So don't make it more complicated. And here's the reality. It doesn't matter if you've tried ads in the past and you failed. A, you probably honestly didn't know what you were doing. B, the algorithm is so much more sophisticated than it even was a few months ago. I don't know if you know this, but Facebook keeps about 1,000 points of data on every user. Their pixel is everywhere. They're tracking your location. Every phone has I believe it's called a map address, a unique code that ties in that phone with that user, the user identity. It's pretty insane what they can do. It's creepy, but it's just the reality. So let's make money with it. So we have the architecture. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully this makes sense. You have 3 types of assets in Facebook. A campaign, which is the big bucket. Within the campaign, there's an ad set. Within the ad set, there's ads. It's like your refrigerator, your fruit drawer, and then your strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. Each one has a purpose. The placement, the targeting, real simple. The ad, the creative, the copy, real simple. I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay. We all good? Does anybody have a question? If you do, raise, add a question to the Q&A. We're going to stop here for a sec, and then I'm going to show you how to create those assets. All right. I don't see any questions coming through. Cool, cool. Let's rock. Okay. So remember, simple scales, complex fails. I've invested personally millions of dollars in ads. I don't know everything there is to know about ads. There's probably more sophisticated systems, but this works. And that's all we care about, right? Like, why do we want to spend all of our time putzing around with stuff that works just fine? Mental masturbation. We want to learn just in time. We don't want to learn just in case, meaning we learn all this crap so that someday we might use it. Now you're just loading your head up with stuff that you can access now through Claude and ChatGPT. The days of learning just in case are over. Today, it's all about what do we need to learn to implement in action and work within a clean paint by number system. If you want to take the slow path to 20K a month recurring income, innovate and figure everything out on your own and watch 73 videos, subscribe to 127 podcasts and be confused and overwhelmed, spin your tires for 6 months, and then pivot to the next shiny object. Or you can get focused, work with a plan that works step by step, point by point, learn enough to execute, implement, get data coming into the system, because once you have data, now you're free, right? Because you can just look at the data and the data tells. This one's screaming right here, this dude, stop! I'm a moron. This one right here is screaming, hey, look at me, look at me. Are you proud of me, Daddy? I'm doing good, right? This one's like the teenager, or like, I don't know if you ever saw any of the Avengers movies where Groot's, he got destroyed and he's coming back up and he's like a teenage Groot and he's playing his little handheld video game and the raccoon says, "Hey Groot, put that down." And he goes, "I am Groot." And they're like, "Whoa, ho ho." So this is like the teenager here talking to you, okay? And so you get it going, then the data will speak to you. And then it's simple. There's really nothing else to think about. Now, when it comes to ads, what we want to do here is we want to understand what serves what purpose, right? So the ad is the image. The purpose of the image is to stop the scroll, right? So they're scrolling through. You want an image to get them to stop just for a second. Then they look at the headline. And then from the headline, they look at the text. And then from the text, they click on the form. And that's it. And so you need to know what the role is of each part of the system. The purpose of a subject line in an email is to what? Get somebody to open the email. The purpose of the first sentence in an email is to what? Get somebody to read the second sentence. You got the idea? So with that being said, the greatest lever when it comes to ads is your offer. Is your offer. Write that down. Is your offer. Okay, we used to call it the mafia offer, right? An offer so good they couldn't say no. Today, it's called the irresistible offer. I learned how to write offers from a guy by the name of Dan Kennedy 25 years ago. He was the godfather. And he talked about the key to charging high fees was the size of your wheelbarrow so you could carry around your brass balls. Ladies, excuse the language. So when it comes to how much you can charge, it's really a direct correlation to your confidence. But direct response in the offer is the key. So if your offer is weak, you get a lot of leads, but you won't get people booking appointments. If your offer is strong, you get a lot of leads and you get a high percentage of those leads booking appointments. And again, it comes down to the data. All we got to do is look at the data and we can diagnose instantly what we need to work on. And unfortunately, when people are confused about this, what they'll do is they'll look at the data and they'll just start sporadically changing everything. Or they'll look at the data and they'll start tweaking things. and they'll tweak this and they'll tweak that and they'll tweak this. We call it the tweaker's disease. It's like, right? And so we don't want to do that. We want the data to inform all decisions so that we can make improvements. Optimization 101 is do more of what works and less of what doesn't. Well, to be able to do that, we need to know what the target is. We need to know what the KPI, key performance indicator is, or the data. Okay. So once we understand the purpose of each thing, the first order of business is we need to work on an offer. We need to have a compelling offer, an offer so good they would feel stupid saying no. Okay. A great resource for this is Hermosi's book, $100 million Offers. You don't need to read it, just have ChatGPT or Claude whip it up and have the system use that framework to come up with an offer. Okay. So here's how we create these assets. So what are the assets we have to create? We have to create copy, a headline, and an image. That's it. And then we're ready to go. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we do is we utilize Claude. Claude, in my opinion, has been working a lot better than GPT-5. Although Claude was down for a little bit today, that was pretty frustrating. Is like we are temporarily unavailable due to overload usage. I was like, man, I forgot how reliant we are on these things. So you can use Claude. And what we want to do is step one, we want to research the bottlenecks on one thing. Two, offer. Three, add. Four, image. That's the sequence that works very well. So you prompt Claude, and I would just do 4-1. You want the best, or you can use Perplexity to do the research. And it's simple. It's like, hey, research. Well, to do this, you have to focus on the one thing. So what's the one thing? Are you doing missed calls? Are you doing speed to lead? Are you doing reduction of no-shows? Are you doing CRM? Are you doing tying in a bunch of separate siloed systems under one roof? Whatever the thing is you're doing, you want to do the research on how that thing causes problems in a small, medium-sized business, SMB. So you prompt it and you go, hey, you're the world's top direct response copywriter. I want you to research how SMBs, small, medium-sized businesses, struggle with one thing. Struggle with missed calls. What are the problems that causes a business and how much is it costing them? What is it costing them in their profit, in their time, in their lost opportunity? And then you just let it rip. And it's going to go and it's going to research and it's going to bring you back all this crap. You don't even need to look at it. As soon as that's done, as soon as you have that research block in that chat, now you have it create an offer. And you say, hey, look, you're the world's top offer creator. You're a direct response copywriter. You specialize in Facebook ads. I want you to create an offer that solves the problem we just talked about using AI. And if you have a specific product or productized offer, then you would insert that and go. And what it'll do now is it will take all of the research, it will put it into an offer, and it will present to you some options for offers. And you want to just work with it and fine tune it and evolve it until it looks really good. And you want to include things like, we guarantee if it doesn't do X, we'll pay you Y, right? If it doesn't recover a missed appointment or 10 missed appointments or 5 missed appointments or something like that, then we'll pay you $500. And you can do that because it's impossible for the system not to capture missed calls, right? As one example. So you want that piece of it. You want a piece of scarcity. You want to decide how many of these you're willing to do. It's your business, so you can decide, and then you can redecide. So so scarcity, you want to put a price on it. we're offering a 1 week free trial. We're waiving the $750 setup fee for the next 14 businesses, something like that. We guarantee it'll do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. That is what is going to do the heavy lifting in getting them to reach out and book and get on the phone with you. The offer, the offer. Once you have the offer done, now you just prompt it to create an ad or multiple ads. Remember, you can have up to 5 ads, copy, and it's the same prompt. You're the world's top direct response. This is one chat. All of this is happening within one context frame. I keep reprompting it. You're the top. So I do direct response, copywriter research, direct response, copywriter offer, direct response, copywriter ad, because that's what you want. Direct response is you're directing the ad to get a response versus branding, which is an entirely different thing. Right? We don't have billion-dollar budgets, so we're not branding. Everything we do is direct response. Once you have the ad, then you prompt it, hey, I want you to put together a prompt to create an image that we can utilize with these ads. It takes you 30 minutes. 30 minutes. So I'm going to show you an example. Now, I don't want you to copy this example because if you do, you're going to be penalized because Facebook doesn't like duplication. They like original. So you want to follow this process, but I'll show you how simple it is and how well it works. So let me share my screen here. We'll get over to Claude is just updating me, updating about his chat. It's apparently it retains it cross chat context now. All right, so let's see here. Let me find. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna just walk you through exactly what I said. Okay. All right. If you have a question, pop it into the Q&A. All right. So here we go. Right. Top direct response copywriter, specialize, blah, 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 research. So it did all this research. This took 3 minutes. I didn't even read it. I don't care. Then I prompted it to create an irresistible offer. So then it did all this stuff. Again, I don't even read it. I don't care. Then we converted it to a Facebook ad. All right. Bottlenecks, offer, ad. Ads, I should say. You want it to always spit out multiple. So if it only spits out one, then prompt it to come up with 5. Now we want it to create an image prompt so that we can run with the ad. Because remember, what do we need? We need an image. We need text or the ad or the copy. That's all the same thing. And we need a headline. Okay. So we've just done the copy and the headline. Now we do the image. And so for the image, we just come over here and we paste in that copy. And then what it does is it spits out something like this. And then you can change the context. You can say, hey, make it with a cute robot, make it with a human, and you're done. And then you just literally download this and upload it into Facebook. And that's it. That if you just do this, you'll have ads running in the next half an hour. So what questions do you have? That's it. I'm done. I wanted it to be simple. This is what we do. This is what works all day long, every day. And this is the framework. So we want you to understand how to fish. We don't want to just give you fish. We've tried that, but when everybody's using the same resource, it dilutes. And again, they can get penalized because Facebook doesn't, the user experience is horrible if you're seeing the same thing, the same ad, the same marketing. And Facebook optimizes for the user experience. So they like original stuff. So if you do this, you always have original stuff. There's some people that will go into the Facebook ads library and they'll look and they'll copy. I'm not a big believer in that because again, you're regurgitating. I prefer to go to the source. Ads should be addressing a problem that the business owner has as it relates to profit. That's all the business owner cares about. They don't care about AI. They don't care about anything else. They care about profit. So once we anchor that, right, we stop their scroll through a compelling image, good headline, good ad, talk in their language with an incredible offer, that gets them to move the needle and move the ball down the field. And then the final thing that you would do is you would be in this section here, and you would just prompt the system to, so number 5 here would be the lead form, which I'll show you here. That's one thing we forgot. So if we scroll down to the bottom of this, we prompted for what offer should I put in the lead form in Facebook? And so it'll tell you what to do. It'll tell you the language. And then when you're setting up your ad, that was the final thing that we need to do, which is this right here. So you won't maybe see these here, but you click create lead form. And then you need to fill this out, because this is what, once they click on your ad, this automatically brings them to this lead form. And the cool thing is this is internal to Facebook. So all of your pixels are already set. All of your retargeting is addressed. You don't have it going to an external website where you got to place a pixel. You got to do all this other stuff. It's super clean, fast. So more volume, open, optimized, next. You can turn this off, next. You can ask it a few questions. Have it ask a few questions like, how many calls do you have? What type of business are you? Next. Turn the privacy policy off. Next. And then this is the where it ends, like thank you. And then this is where you would put the language. So what you want to do is you want to let them know they're not done. So it's like, wait, you're not done yet. Book your 1 week free trial. Okay, don't do this exact language, but you get the idea. So you just want to repost and re-communicate the offer. That's what goes here. And then your website, you put a link to your calendar, which could be as simple as a free Calendly link, or if you have a more sophisticated, if you have an embedded link on your website. And then this would be book demo. Book or 1 week free trial. Right? Create form, done. And that's it. So again, just to recap, we have one of the most effective ways to turn money into recurring monthly income through the intelligent deployment of paid media to get appointments, which you can then convert into clients. And once you have this built properly, you can hire a full-time straight commission rep to work 40, 50 hours a week for you, building you recurring income. To do this, you need to have basically, you need to have Claude GPT or Claude or GPT. That's it. And the blueprint. And so we have an ad, there's an image, there's a headline, there's copy. The ads live within the ad set. The ad set controls the placement and the targeting. They live within the campaign. And the purpose of the image is to stop the scroll. The purpose of the headline is to get them to read the text. The purpose of the text is to get them to click. The purpose of the offer is to get them to book. And the way you do that is you research the bottlenecks on the one thing, the one service, the one focal point. You have the GPT create an offer. You have the AI create an ad. You have the AI create a prompt for an image. And then you have the AI create the copy for the lead form. And then when you do that, you have a seamless system that is very consistent, very predictable, very scalable. You have a gas pedal to scale up the appointments or scale back the appointments. And you pretty much have everything you need to build a 20K a month recurring income. Because what is 20K? Well, if you're charging $5,000 setup fees, you're at 20K with 5 new clients just in setup fees. If you're charging $1,500 a month, what's that? I probably should have done simpler math. Let's say 2K a month, that's 10 clients. 10 clients, 20K. So you can do the work once, and now you just step back and you're rolling in 20K without doing anything else. So when you combine new client acquisition with recurring income. Let's say you're very conservative and you focus on 2 clients a month. That's 5 plus 5. That's 10K a month of setup fee, and you're adding $2,000 a month of recurring. So month one, 10K plus 2,000 recurring. Month two, 10K plus $4,000 recurring. Month three, 10K plus $6,000 a month recurring. You've just made 30K plus 2 plus 4, 36 plus 6, 42K in 4 months, 3 months, whatever that was. See, that's what people don't understand. There's nothing I know, and I've looked. I've analyzed over 150 different business models. I've built 5 7-figure companies. This is the most efficient and effective way that I think is known to mankind. That's why I have my daughter involved. And the way we do it is it doesn't matter what the technology does or changes. That's actually good because now we can introduce additional services and capacity to our clients, but our system is modular. So we can still run the same ads, we just change the offer. We can still do the same enrollment process, we just change what we're demoing. So it's an evergreen system. People have been doing, the Rainmakers made money 20 years ago. The Rainmakers are going to make money 20 years from now. That's why you hear us talk continuously about that's the skill. You already know how to sell. You're already successful in sales. You already have an agency. You already have a business. You're already in corporate. You know how to communicate. And this process isn't rocket science. It's not like you're trying to sell ice to Eskimos. You're showing a business owner how they can recover lost profit just like that with new capacity tooling. It's like if you had a cargo transporter company that was using horses and wagons, and you come along and you say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but there's a guy named Henry Ford, and he's minting these things. They're called Model Ts. And they'd be like, what the hell's a Model T? It's loud. Man, that stinks. What's all that stuff coming out? And then you just explain it. And maybe you jump in and sit there with him or toss him the keys, right? 1,000 questions are answered with a test drive. That's why we make that part of our process. And so it's like we call it rolling the ball down the hill, y'all. If you just invest the time to set this up, I'm telling you, it's revolutionary. So we help people with this every day, all day long, right? And so we work with people who we leverage your sales skills, your communication skills. You leverage our offer and our fulfillment. And if that's something of interest to you, book a call. We offer a free 15-minute call where we get to learn about you a little bit. You get to learn about us a little bit. And then if that makes sense, then you would talk with one of our program team members and they can talk about how all that works. It's not a free program. It's paid. So don't get on a call and say, hey, I'll trade you. No, we don't do that because there's a lot of investment for us to get you up and running to make sure that your system is in place. Today, we just talked about the ads. Now, the ads done well will get you appointments. But what really gets you appointments is when we bolt on AI so that every lead that comes in is texted, called, followed up with, warmed up, indoctrinated, educated, demoed. So by the time you get on that sales call, they're really ready to rock and roll. And so that's a lot of time and attention. And so if there's 2 ways you can pay just like college tuition, you can pay up front or you can pay over time using financing. So if you're looking at a financing option, you're looking at about $450 a month to get all of our support, all of our fulfillment, everything like that. We do an 80-20 split. You keep 80, we take 20 to handle the fulfillment. For our productized offer, we lead with one AI system, our AI profit system. It's an AI solution package that we've productized. So you always are talking to the business about the same first thing, which gives you a cleaner business, more scalable. And if that's of interest, book a call. The call link is all over the Skool group. You can find it without too much trouble at all. So, you pop in here, you click over here. I think it's in pretty much every video. Click it, book a call. You'll talk to one of our team members and we'll rock and roll. But regardless if you get our help or not, I encourage you, you have what you need. You can do this. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't get in your own way. Give yourself some grace and space, but please make quality decisions because we're entering into and have entered into probably one of the most disruptive times in history. And things that used to work yesterday are not going to be working. models and playbooks of how we made money and what we did for a living are all changing. Everything is being disrupted. And we can either squawk about it, we can stick our head in the sand, in our butt in the air, we can ignore it, or we can be leaders. We've been called to be leaders, right? We've been called to be the salt and the light. So what is salt? Salt is a preservative, right? The meat, the salt prevents the meat from rotting. And so that's what we are to do. And the way we do this is, first of all, to be stable and secure in our own income, because when we're not, we're running around with chickens, like our heads cut off, we're confused, we're overwhelmed, we're stressed, and we should not be running out of money before the end of the month. We should have a surplus in plenty. That's how we can then contribute to other things outside of our own little pocketbook. So I really encourage you. You can do this. You've got it. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. What's the question here? This was great. Paul enjoyed. Awesome. Carolyn, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, all right, y'all. We'll see you next Thursday, 4 o'clock. There'll be a replay of this in the Skool group. I'll show you where that is. Pop in here. So we come up here to the classroom. We come down here to the weekly call replays, and you can get all of our goodies right here. Okay? All right. God bless y'all.